I never went into television because I wanted to do television. I love movies. I never watched TV series or anything. But when I was a kid, I sure did. And I loved Twilight Zone and Outer Limits and things like that. When I started doing television, when I was doing the King miniseries and the like, most people who did horror television were not fans of horror. They didn't love it. They didn't care about it. It was just another assignment. And there is a difference in the language of horror cinema than there is in drama cinema. And it's always expanded the boundaries of filmmaking. You know, the discoveries in the language of cinema have usually been made in the cinema of the fantastic. Masters of Horror was probably the easiest pitch ever. I had no idea, you know, and I labored for quite a while before we actually went out to try and sell it. We pitched it to 3 companies. All of them wanted to do it. They all said yes, and one of them, which was IDT, which owned Anchor Bay at the time, said, "How much and when can we start?" And it went like that once they agreed to it. And it's because of who the people were and what the concept was. It's an anthology show. Every one is going to be different, but every one is going to be made by one of the greatest horror filmmakers working. And we're encouraging each of these to be different. So yeah, they were little movies, but it was still, you know, it was Tales from the Crypt, although Tales from the Crypt had a very distinct style. It was kind of tongue-in-cheek and campy and was the boobs and blood show. But this was these filmmakers not being hired to do one of the Tales from the Crypt, but to develop their own story for it. So I don't know if it would be easier now or not. At that time, it was instantaneous once we did it. I'm working on another couple of things similar to that, and it's a harder row to hoe. The enthusiasm for the genre, it's not for the whole genre, it's for the good stuff. And most of everything, and maybe particularly this genre, most of it's junk. Most of it's crap that it's the same old thing over and over and over. You know, it's not about the kills, it's about who's being killed or killing that makes it interesting. And that all changes if you can see somebody doing something evolutionary, like Let the Right One In, as a way to tell a vampire story. Holy shit, that's brilliant, that's great, nobody's done this before. And let those tributaries grow in that direction until somebody else comes up with something new in the way to tell a story in a totally different way. And I'm fascinated by storytelling as it changes and the world as it changes. You know, I have gray hair, but I don't want my work to have gray hair. You know, I love the excitement of change.